Welcome to Annapolis Mosaics. Our program spotlights people in our community who are involved in activities designed to promote good human relations. I am Michael Keller, the chair of the Annapolis Human Relations Commission and your host. The commission is a city board that seeks to promote equal opportunity and to eliminate discrimination. My guest today is Jenn Bistrack, who is the Community Health and Aquatics Coordinator for the Annapolis Department of Recreation and Parks. Jenn, welcome to Annapolis Mosaics.
Thank you very much, and on behalf of the whole department, we thank you for inviting us in for this discussion on healthy community relations.
Well, thank you for being here. It's my understanding that your department offers a number of programs and services that are intended to strengthen human relations. And so let's talk about them. Let's start with the Roger Pip Moyer Community Recreation Center at Truxton Park, and have a little bit of a dialogue about that. What are the amenities at the center, including its recreational programs, its fitness offerings,
right,
and the like?
Well, the amenities are plentiful. We opened our doors in December of 2009. And as soon as we opened our doors, I think we were flooded. We've got, just to go through the list, we have got about 3,000 square feet of fitness facility, just talking about our cardiovascular room and our strength training room. We also have an indoor cycling room. Spinning is a very popular way to get fit these days. We have an elevated track. I believe it's a 4-lane track, an eighth of a mile. We have 2 dance and multi-purpose fitness rooms that we retool depending on what's going on in there. We have tens of dance classes for youth. We have dance classes for adults. We have boot camp classes. So we've been able, through the facility, we've been able to expand. We used to focus more on youth programs, and now we've really expanded to all ages, including a lot of active older adults participating in strength and balance classes and that kind of thing. We have 3 basketball courts, indoor basketball courts, which when the facility first opened in December, and we had an extremely cold winter, the whole community came in to use this facility, and basketball among kids, among adults, pickup games, organized games, they were happening every day, every night. And I wondered, where did these people recreate last year when these indoor courts weren't available? We have, those courts can also be reconfigured for volleyball. So we have the setup lengthwise for basketball, sideways for volleyball. And then we have an auxiliary gym for non-court sports, which we've had baseball, we've had indoor baseball in there, we've had indoor soccer going on in there, just pickup games from various communities of indoor soccer. We've had some developmental ball classes with preschool age children in there. We also have a Velocity indoor playground for kids, indoor babysitting, and on the non-recreation side, upstairs we have 3 meeting rooms. So the community is able to get together in those meeting rooms. So far, I have seen memorial services held in there, birthday parties, baby showers. So there seems to be a lot of community space for a lot of community purposes.
The Annapolis Human Relations Commission meets in one of your rooms.
Okay, so different community organizations you can become an organizational member and hold your community housing meetings in there. So really any community meeting can take place in those meeting rooms. So a lot of space, a lot of common social space for both formal and informal gatherings, for recreation, for organizational meetings.
To who's a clientele of the Moyer Community Recreation Center? Who can use it?
You know, when you're looking at public recreation spaces, we really look at accessibility and affordability. And when you look at accessibility, you look at not only the geographical location. The geographical location of the Pitt Moyer Recreation Facility is ideal for a recreation center in Annapolis. We are in a mixed residential area, mixed incomes. There's some apartment dwellings, there are some single-family units, there are townhouse units, condos. We are connected to other services like the bus line. So we have a bus stop in close proximity to the rec center, and it's also walkable and bikeable. So even if you're not within, you know, right across the street, or maybe even within a half mile, within a few miles, if you're on your bike, it's very easy to get there. There's a bike lane right off Hilltop Lane, and we also have we have places where you can lock up your bike. So it's very accessible if you're looking at transportation. It's also very accessible if you're looking at affordability. In order to use the rec center, our director and the city council has come up with a number of ways that you can use our facility. You can use it on a daily basis, so you can just come drop in, pay a daily fee, and there's a fee for city residents, there's a fee for county residents. It's a little bit different just based on if you're paying city taxes or not. So you can use it as a daily user, you can use it as a monthly user, you can buy a full membership, you can just come and use it for programs. And one other way we've made it accessible when it comes to money is our scholarship program. We have always had a scholarship program, and it's mainly been geared toward youth, but with the opening of the new facility, and with some community donations, community funding to provide scholarships, we've been able to give, I think, $7,000 worth of scholarships in fiscal year 2010, which ended at the end of June, so I'm not even sure what we've done through the rest of the summer. But scholarships toward memberships to our facility for families, for adults and youth, scholarships for adult programs, scholarships for youth programs, and also one-day scholarships for user groups like the Boys and Girls Club or the Eastport Girls Club to come in and use the facility for special programs and introduce their population, their kids, to the rec center so that they can see what there is to offer that's right in their backyard. Do
you have programs that directly connected or seek to appeal to young people, to youth?
To youth, we do.
Okay, tell us about those.
We have, and I think that background was our core strength that we came into this new building with, and then we've expanded into younger adults and older adults through that. We have, I'm not sure how much time we have to go over these.
We've got lots of time, so please provide the details.
We have dance programs. Okay. So starting as young as 3 years old, we have a fabulous dance instructor, Cheryl Mock, who's been with Annapolis Recreation and Parks, I think, for 20 plus years. She offers ballet, tap and tumble. She offers jazz classes, and as you get older, more specialty dance classes. And then we also offer hip-hop dance classes. For youth also, Recreation and Parks can provide some of the most fundamental experiences in sports. So before we even want children to become competitive, we want kids to learn the motor skills that they need, that they can apply for sports overall. Hand-eye coordination, football coordination, the skills of teamwork, and listening to the rules. So when we're talking about kids 3, 4, 5 years old, and then as kids get older, we offer basketball clinics, we offer soccer clinics, baseball clinics. This year we have a very strong partnership with the Annapolis Baseball Club. Okay. So we'll be working hand in hand with them to expand the youth baseball program. We have so many things. I don't want to leave anything out. We have non-sport items like My Child's First School, where kids come away from their parents and they begin to learn how to receive instruction from someone even before the pre-K experiences. We have kids Spanish classes. You mentioned that I'm the aquatics coordinator.
Right.
In the summer, we offer an incredible amount of aquatics opportunities for youth. So we have swim lessons starting at age 6 months, where we're working alongside parents and teaching them how to help their kids feel comfortable in the water. We have swim lessons where kids are working independently, and we've seen tremendous progress from kids from the beginning of the summer to the end of the summer, where at first they're afraid to even enter the water, and then as they progress, they're swimming solo. And then we have a swim team. Throughout the rest of the year, when it comes to aquatics, we offer swim lessons for youth who may not be able to afford swim lessons otherwise through a grant-funded program called the Friday Night Splash program. We do outreach into the schools with our programs, whether it's before and after care or taking youth sports into the public elementary schools. And we're always looking to work with different community groups and the schools to find out what the next needs are for kids when it comes to new youth programs.
Well, this is incredibly impressive array of programs that you offer, Jen. Let's go to the other side of the age range. What do you have for senior citizens, many of whom are retired and looking for things to do?
What we have for senior citizens continues to grow. I think that if you asked me this last year, I would say we have an aerobics class. But this year I can say, first of all, when we look at the facility itself, a lot of active adults have come in to use our track, to use the cardiovascular and the strength training room just to stay fit. And I've seen some incredibly fit active adults coming and using the facility. They're very inspiring. We also have some instructors, some Annapolis area instructors who have brought classes like balance classes to the recreation center for active adults, just helping them stay healthy as they age so that they can prevent falls and prevent injuries, which may lead to the need for more tertiary health care. So I would say both in just offering the facility a clean, bright, open, accessible space for active adults to come. And I think that the daytime, it's interesting if you're there from 8:30 to 6:30 to see the different ways the facility is used, because the daytime, morning time and early and late morning time is a time when we see a lot of active adults coming in to use the facility and to take some of those adult classes. We do have our facility brochure available, and if anyone's interested, they can take a look online at our facility brochure or stop into the Pitt Maury Rec Center and pick up our fall or winter brochure.
We're going to take a break now, but when we return, I'll be talking with Jen about some of the other services and programs of the Department of Recreation and Parks. We're talking with Jenn Bistrack, who is the coordinator for community health and aquatics at the Annapolis Department of Recreation and Parks. And let's focus on the second part of the department's name, parks. There's lots of parks and trails in Annapolis. In fact, I would be willing to wager that our viewers will be surprised as to the number of parks and trails that actually exist that people can take advantage of. Could you share some information about that with us?
I agree with you. Until I started working with the department, I've lived here for about 11 years, and not until about 4 or 5 years ago did I learn about the parks in the Annapolis area. It's an urban environment, and we, whereas the county may have some of the larger parks, we offer some smaller parks. Our largest park, of course, is Truxtun Park, and now people may think Truxtun Park is synonymous with the Pitt Moyer Recreation Center, but in fact, the Recreation Center is one piece of Truxtun Park. Truxtun Park extends back. Sorry to say I'm not well versed in the acreage. Might be 8 acres back there. I'm not well versed in the acreage, but there are a number of trails back behind Truxtun Park. There's open space. It's right within the peninsula where Spa Creek comes down, so you can gain a little serenity just by walking back there. There's a lot of wildlife back there. We have some memorial park benches back there. We also have, if you go further down Bay Ridge Avenue out toward the Bay Ridge community, and we have a park called, now I'm blanking out here, Back Creek Nature Park. And Back Creek Nature Park is a site where we offer a lot of environmental programs for kids and for the community. And it's also a very pristine and serene area that seems a world away from the hubbub of the downtown activity. Aside from that, we have a lot of street end parks and pocket parks throughout Annapolis that you can see just by walking through Annapolis proper and the Eastport area. And there will always be a little placard showing you the dedication to the park, and it's just a nice place for you to sit down and reflect on your day or sit down and gather your thoughts. It's just a nice place to be able to escape from the hubbub of your life or of the city.
One's right down the street from where I am.
That's great. It's just a nice place to reflect for a little bit, a nice little spot of beauty in a busy area.
Yeah. Looking at some of the other things that the department oversees, one of its major responsibilities relates to Greenscape, which is a highly popular program in the city of Annapolis. Tell our viewers a little bit about that and how they might get involved in that.
Greenscape is an opportunity for civic engagement for the community to come together to help clean up and beautify Annapolis. We all know that inspiring places are motivating to us individually and as a community. One of the larger roles of every recreation department is to help the community engage in civic action. So Greenscape is going into its 20th year, and we now offer a fall and a spring Greenscape run by our horticulturist Marissa Whitlinger. Greenscape is a chance for, like I said, different communities to decide, hey, we want to get together, we want to clean up the community, we want to do some common grounds plantings. So what anyone can do is apply through the city. You can find information on our website. I've said that a few times, but it's 3ws.annapolis.gov/recreation. And you can just look for Greenscape. So you apply. We have a deadline for application they can check online for both fall and spring to see what those deadlines would be, because we have to be able to order the bulbs or the trees and the plantings, whatever it is we are planting this fall. The focus is on tulips and daffodils. Oh, okay. So by doing some work now and planting those bulbs, then we'll see the fruits of our labor in the spring. Beauty will pop up all over the place. So one of the outcomes of Greenscape is that beauty down the road, but one of the outcomes is just bringing people together in the common name of making our city a more motivating, a more inspirational place to live.
Yeah. One of the major facilities that comes under the purview of the Department of Recreation and Parks is the Stanton Community Center.
Right.
Why don't you relate to our viewers, tell our viewers briefly about the history and the mission of the center, and then go into a little bit of a discussion about some of its outreach programs and its other services that it provides to the community.
Well, the Stanton Community Center is an outreach, recreation, and community center in the heart of the Clay Street community. Okay. Archie Trader is the recreation supervisor there. And historically speaking, I know that the Stanton Community Center used to be a school, and there is a very complete history on our website. If you click on Stanton Community Center, you can read all about the history of the community center itself. The Stanton Community Center is somewhat of an oasis in a community that can be troubled at times or can be in need of extra support. There are some low-income housing units back in there, and the community center provides, first of all, they do provide space for nonprofit organizations to come in and set up shop. So there are a number of nonprofit organizations that provide community services there. One of the largest is the Anne Arundel Medical Center's Outreach Clinic, which offers free and low-cost health care, which is extremely important for people to know where they can go for health care, primary health care, before things get bad and they end up in the emergency room.
Right.
On the recreation side, when I first started working here and I started having conversations with the Stanton Community Center leaders, one of the things that was communicated to me was one of the goals of the Stanton Community Center recreation side is to make sure that all of the recreation opportunities that are available to Annapolis as a whole become known to families with low-income needs in economic hardship. So that as the community progresses with different recreational opportunities, we are not leaving behind any population. So the Stanton Community Center leaders, one thing they do is go out into the community. They actually make house calls. They visit some of the families and they educate them on the opportunities that our department offers as a whole and that they offer at the Stanton Community Center. They check in with families, what's going on with your kids, what are your needs, and communicate to them the open door policy that the kids are always welcome at the community center. We would prefer that they're at the community center rather than just hanging around doing nothing for many reasons. And one of the important reasons is just that there's so many connections and so many great, whether they're academic or sport and other recreational opportunities for kids. But often kids say, oh no, I don't want to go, I don't want to do it. And it's the parents who need to say, oh, let's just go and check it out. In the absence of that support, or in addition to that support, the community center leaders go out and do that outreach to bring the kids in to that center.
Right. The department also sponsors a number of special kinds of activities, special kinds of programs. But one that I'm aware of is the Truxton Youth Triathlon.
Right.
You know about that?
I do. I happen to know a little bit about the Truxton Youth Triathlon.
Okay. Well, I think folks will be really interested in hearing more about that.
So, triathlon is one of the largest growing sports in the United States. The typical triathlon is swimming, cycling, and running. And one of our jobs in the recreation field is to look across the state, look across the country, look across the world, and see what are the trends? What does Annapolis need to do to keep up with, and for some reason triathlon has become so big, and when you see triathlon and you do it, you realize. So among adults, triathlon has become extremely popular. So 4 years ago, we started offering the Truxton Youth Triathlon. We work with the Chesapeake Family Magazine, and we work very closely with community members who volunteer. We have a lot of volunteering opportunities in our department, and the Annapolis Triathlon Club. And we've offered this event every year for 4 summers. This year we were at our largest capacity. We had 225 kids and probably 100 or a little over 100 parent volunteers. And then I serve as the race director for the event, and I have about 15 incredibly highly dedicated volunteers who serve in the community in a number of ways that work with me for about 8 months to get this event off the ground every year. We meet monthly and then weekly as the event gets closer. So Kids from the ages of 7, if you can believe it, as young as 7 and as old as 17 can come in and compete. And we're not looking for superstars, and we're not looking to develop Olympic athletes. We're looking to develop a community of strong kids who know how to set challenges and can realize that even though something is difficult, like that triathlon is very difficult, and it's completely individual. You're not on a team unless you're doing the relay. You are. Think about an 8-year-old girl with a basket on the front of her bike, who just learned how to ride her bike, riding 4 miles through Annapolis, and with a number of volunteers making sure that she gets back safely, and with encouragement, finishing that event and knowing now she can do anything. And I think that in all of our programs for kids and adults, we try to directly and indirectly instill just that. Let's see where you want to go. Let's set some challenges. Let's help you get there. And now what next? You can accomplish this, whether it's an athletic endeavor, whether it's learning Spanish, whether it's just building up your network in the community. Let's get you out there. Let's set some goals. Let's achieve them, and let's see what we have for you next. And sometimes the next opportunity is for you to come back as a volunteer or a mentor. And offer your skills and your talents to the community.
The Department of Recreation and Parks has got such a tremendous and impressive array of programs. I'm sure I haven't covered all of them. Is there something else that I didn't cover that you think you would like our viewers to learn about, Jen?
There is.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a little selfish time to talk about one of my programs.
Okay.
In the larger scale, we're always looking for ways to connect with the community. Right now, I am working with the city's Department of Transportation, the police department, the Department of Recreation and Parks, and the Box of Rain Foundation, which is a nonprofit in the community that helps kids learn how to sail. We started working with them a number of years ago to help teach their kids how to swim. And we got together, we had the chance to apply for a grant. We got together to apply for a grant through the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention and Control for a program called Revolution Kids. It's a program that works with adolescents, so we're starting at age 13 through high school, and the goal is to teach them how to be bike mechanics, which can extend, they can generalize that if they wish, to engineering, to physics, or staying in the mechanic field. And teaches them how to be bike mechanics. They earn service learning credits and hours toward earning their own bike. So we are connecting them to adult mentors. We are connecting them to job skills. We're connecting them to transportation and physical activity. And all of this came about through community connections. It wasn't just us saying, okay, now we're going to do this next. We got together with all these outside groups and put our heads together to figure out how we could work together to help improve the community. So we have a lot of opportunities for folks who are interested in biking to get involved, to help train these kids in how to be bike mechanics, and as they go, help improve their mechanic skills themselves.
Okay. You had mentioned this earlier, but I think it would be helpful to repeat it, and that is if our viewers are interested in learning more about the Annapolis Department of Recreation and Parks and wants to get in contact with you, how can they do it?
Well, the main number for Recreation and Parks is 410-263-7958, and you can reach any of the recreation supervisors at that number. Our website is www.annapolis.gov/recreation, and from there you'll see a number of links to our parks, to our programs, to whatever the current catalog that's up there. So those are two great ways, and you can always stop by and see us at 273 Hilltop Lane.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you for viewing our program today. Please join us again on Annapolis Mosaics. If you would like to have more information about the Annapolis Human Relations Commission, jot down the information that's on your screen. You can reach us at 410-263-7998 or by email at hrcommission@annapolis.gov. And check out our page on the website of the City of Annapolis. Go to www.annapolis.gov, click on Boards and Commissions at the home page, and you can scroll down to the Human Relations Commission page. And always remember the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "We have flown the air like birds and swum the seas like fishes, but have yet to learn the simple act of walking the earth as brothers and sisters." Thank you, Jenn.